Now, I am a tall person, but the first thing I noticed when I got this is that the stand was a little lower than I thought. And that's one of the things I didn't like. But with that being said, I'm going to cover a few things I like and a few things I don't like, because it's a really good sander overall, but in a few particular scenarios, this may not be good for you. So the height is 32 inches to the bed. And so it's okay if you like working down here, that's fine, but it's not super tall. For me, I'm 6'4", I would like it closer to 40 inches. So a way to accommodate that is you could just add blocks or casters or something underneath the feet, which is fine, but if you want it stationary, you might need to do a little work to get it up if you want it up higher, especially when you adjust this, just the lever on the side, you can go horizontal really quickly, go right to the stop, and screw it back in. Now, you will need to level this if you want it exactly level, which is totally fine. And then you can raise it back up vertically. I don't have the attachment in on this side right here, right now, for the bedge on the end of the sander. I have that removed. I normally don't use that. I've got really easy belt removal. Release it, release the belt, install the belt. Nice thing is this is a super common belt size, so you can easily find these in all grits. Right here, you've got the belt tracking guide, no complaints about that. You can twist it with your hand, and there's also holes there if you need to put a tool in it, if it's a little tight. But for me, you can adjust it with your hand, no problem, and real quick. One of the good things is you see this cord going off this direction. Let's measure it. I'm not sure how long it is. So it is a 10-foot cord, which is quite nice. A lot of tools of this size might have like a 4 or 6-foot cord. So it is nice to be able to reach it a ways away in the shop. That is useful for me. I like to reorganize a lot or maybe move things around for specific projects. So that flexibility, a 10-foot cord where I don't have to get an extension cord. The holes in these feet are just rubber holes. Nice. So casters want to attach there well. You would want to, this one, the rubber foot is gone missing, so that's how it is. The stand comes not put together, so you will have to put together the stand and then place the sander on top of the stand. So another thing with that is if you needed to or wanted to mount this belt sander anywhere else, just on a workbench or something, you could totally do so. Let me turn it on real quick so you can hear how it runs. So this is me talking. I've got a microphone on. It's pretty, it's medium. It's not super quiet, it's not super loud. It doesn't hurt without ear protection on, although I like to use it if I'm doing a lot of work. Okay, now to the really bad part. I had a friend, we were making a bunch of projects together, and he had this on for 25 minutes, pushing hard on it, and the motor overheated and burned out. And so keep that in mind. I think we just overworked it. I think it was a year old at that time, maybe even a little less, and we just overworked it for 25 minutes and it did burn out. It was nice that ShopFox does have part replacements, so we bought a new motor. It was easy to install. But if you're gonna run this continuously for a long, long time, I do not recommend that. I would recommend every time we shut it off at 15 minutes, let the tool cool down and start it again, we're good to go. But we ran it for 25 minutes in about 90-degree weather with a lot of pressure, probably a dull belt at that point, and it burned out. Ever since then, we replaced the motor. We haven't had any problems. We've just been careful to not let it overheat, and that seems to be really useful for the longevity of this tool. Overall, I really like the tool, still use it all the time. It's a solid 36-inch belt sander. That's the good and the bad. I think the ideal scenario here would be to put 3-inch casters on it that have locking feet, and then it's going to raise up to your height that you want. But if you do put those casters on, you're going to have to drill through the metal or attach it somehow. There's no holes down low for you to attach casters. So it's going to have to be a special fit of some sort. The other thing you could do is throw some sort of blocking under it. You're just going to want to make something solid, maybe even secure this whole thing to something that way you don't knock it off your blocking. You would want to stay safe while doing that. The holes in these feet are just rubber holes, so casters want to attach there well. You would want to, this one, the rubber foot is gone missing, so that's how it is. I don't know if this one's for you, but if you want to go a super long time, super long run time in hot weather, I would say don't get this one. And then if that height thing is an issue from you, if that height is an issue for you as well, don't get it. It just needs raised a little bit, I would say. Although I will say I've used it for 1.5 years without raising it, so if it was a big enough issue, you would have thought I would have raised it by now. But some temporary things become permanent in the shop. So anyway, Shop Fox.